This is WR6J waiting for the military radio net.
Wind 6 Bravo, Charlie Tango, wind 4 SDR.
W6MQI.
Six Bravo Charlie Tango.
And NU6F.
NK0DWC. Okay. And this is WA7YBS, and this is the Vintage Military Radio Net. I'll be your net control. Stand by just one. Well, I don't know, but at any rate, this is the Vintage Military Radio Net, and I'm WA7YBS. Henry in Dayton Valley. I'll be net control today. And the Vintage Military Radio Net's Roundtable AM group. It's set up to let licensed hams operate their vintage military radio equipment on the air. And of course, military equipment isn't a prerequisite for tuning or for getting on the net. Just operate what you got. Subject conversation generally is about military gear. So there you go. And so far, I've heard very early, I heard Bill, N6BCT, in there. So good morning to Bill. You're in the number one spot. Number two is Dave, W6MQI. Good morning, Dave. Number three is Ron, NU6F. Good morning, Ron. And number four, Chuck, K0DWC. Good morning, Chuck. So listen, who else is out there? Number 5 is open. Just get some check-ins here. So if you want to be at number 5, check in now.
Transmitting on 3074 kilohertz.
Okay, I heard Mike, W7MS. So good morning, Mike. Anybody else want to check in? Go ahead and check in now.
W6SWR6J, Whiskey Romeo 6 Juliet, Richard.
Okay, sorry about that. W6SSP Steve there is in the number 6 spot. Good morning, Steve. And WR6J Richard is in the number 7 spot. Good morning, Richard. Is there a number 8 out there that wants to check in? If you do it now. Well, that sounded like Mike. W6THW. Good signal. Good morning to you. You're in the number 8 spot. Number 9 is open if you want to check in. Vintage Military Radio Net. And be number 9. Go ahead and check in now. Okay. I think we're all set. And let me run down the list here. In the number 1 spot is Bill, N6BCT. In the number 2 spot is Dave, W6MQI. In the number 3 spot is Ron, NU6F. Number 4 is Chuck, K0DWC. Number 5 is Mike, W7MS. Number 6 is Steve, W6SSP. Number 7 is Richard, WR6J. And number 8 is Mike, W6THW. Okay, I'm on the W6MIT 1625 rig, and we're driving the W6MIT linear amplifier with that. So we're putting about 140 watts of carrier out, and the receiver is a Raycal RA17-12C, the NATO Raycal. So anyway, that's the right collinear array antenna, D104 microphone. So with that, let's get started, and we'll send it up. Well, let's see if there's anybody else. Number 9 is open. If you want to check in, be number 9. You're check in right now. Okay, run down the list one more time, and have your pencils ready. Number 1, N6BCT. Number 2, W6NQI. Number 3, NU6F. Number 4, K0DWC. Number 5, W7MS. Number 6, W6SSP. Number 7, WR6J. And number 8, W6THW. Over to Bill. N6BCT. Go ahead. This is WA7YBS.
Good morning, this one's happening, boys. There's Sam Robbins Corporation. I think that the PPS yesterday, so I'm on the PFS yesterday. Anyway, so that's a small house. And the whole thing is fun anyway. Anyway, so everything else is good. So this brings us to BCG. Affiliate W6MQI and 6 Bravo Charlie Tango.
All right, N6BCT, W6MQI. Good morning, Bill. And good morning to Henry, Net Control. Thanks for taking the net this morning, and everybody else. And there's a couple stations in there I don't think I've ever heard before. WR6J and W6THW. Good morning to them as well. This is Dave in Livermore, and we're on the ART13 with a D104 microphone, listening on the R390A. And I guess we got some rain on the way. It's 49 degrees here, and that's the rundown. I'm going to run back into the house and go get some more coffee, and I'm going to hand it over to Ron while I'm doing that. NU6F, W6MQI.
Okay, good deal. See if I got it. Yeah, there we are. All right, guys. Well, the band is quiet out here, and when I heard Bill there, first of all, I thought, wow, that's probably the strongest I've heard them. Well, we'll see if conditions stay where they are. It's Ron and U6F here in Reno, and running the T368 at 350 watts carrier, and on a 170-foot inverted L, listening on the Stewart Warner R390A. All right, with that, go ahead and take it away, Chuck. K0DWC with Carla in the kitchen mobile and U6F.
Okay, Ron, NU6F and the group K0DWC. Well, good morning to you and everybody else. Henry, Bill, Dave, Mike, Steve, Richard, and Mike, W6THW. Good morning to all. So far I've heard everybody with no problems. And we're on the TCS-13 this morning, running through the remote. And cheating with an amp. running, I don't know, about 110 watts it says, but I don't know about that. But anyway, speaking through a Signal Corps U.S. Army T-50 Sure Brothers hand mic, and so far everything looks pretty good. So with that, I'll keep it going, and I'll send it over to Mike in Reno, W7MS to take it, K0DWC.
Let me see if Mike is doing okay there. I know when he checked in, there was a lot of crackling and that sort of thing going on. So let's W7MS. Sounded good.
I don't know if it's picking up, but here it is, W7MS Mike and Reno. We'll just say good morning and listening to myself on the flat screen up front. I guess I'm doing okay, but good morning to all, and I'll keep it rolling here because I am a little discombobulated currently. So over to Santa Rosa, and good morning to all, W6SSP, W7MS.
Okay, thank you, Mike. I'll make sure everything's okay here. Yeah, no smoke, no sparks. Good morning, everybody. This is Steve, W6SSP, just north of Santa Rosa. Conditions are very good this morning. Strong signals, relatively low noise floor so far. We'll see how things progress. Running the usual Collins 75A1 receiver and matching 32V1 transmitter. 85 watts out into a dipole about 30 feet up with a D104 microphone. And we've got rain here. It was stronger earlier, light rain now, and I'd say we're in the mid to upper 40s, so looks like a day of rain here, so good day to stay inside with the wood stove going. So we'll send it down to Richard, WR6J, W6SSP. Pick it up.
W6SSP in the group, WR6J. Good morning. Thank you, Steve. Good morning to everyone. Henry, Bill, Dave, Ron, Chuck, Mike, Steve, and another Mike. I hope that's right. Good morning to everyone. I'm running Homebrew 6146 with separately modulated screen and plates with two transformers to do the modulation coming from a single audio source. And that's putting out about 15 watts going into an SP200, putting about 100 watts of carrier. And that's going to a ladder line to a 130-something foot doublet up at about 45 feet, and that's all being tuned around for 2060. So that's about it. I was going to mention to Ron, NU6F, I've been receiving your 630 meter whisper signals this morning, so it'll be interesting to catch up on that at some point. I threw out a 300 foot ground loop, a loop on the ground, trying to receive 630 meter whisper and getting ourselves set up for a 630 meter station. So I've been decoding you. Anyway, I'm going to keep things moving, and it goes over to Mike, W6DHW, WR62.
K6VXY checking in. K6VXY checking in a little late.
Okay, K6TSY, wasn't it, Henry?
Yeah, okay, Mike. Yeah, that's K6VXY, Vern, and Vern, you're number 9, and Mike is going to turn it over to you, W6THW, after he's made his transmission. So you're checked in, Vern. Back to you, Mike, W6THW. Go ahead.
Hey, W6THW. Beautiful downtown Rockland. Rockland, whatever. Okay, everybody knows probably, handles Mike, QTH, I just give about 3 times, and everybody's coming in very nice. Band's starting to take a little fade there for a second, and I made a mistake this morning, my first mistake today, I got on 3970, and I presume you guys get on 3975. So make me look like a fool. That's okay. Okay, right here is Homebrew by Jeff, K6JCA, pair of 813s, modulated by a pair of 813s. And the receiver is Collins 51S1. And the antenna is a inverted V at 55 feet. And that's about it. Microphone is, I can't remember, PR40. Yeah, Heil PR40. Forget what it was, Stephen. Okay, back to you, Henry, and I'll get everything written down right this time. Go ahead, Henry, W6THW.
Okay, Mike. Very good. It goes over to Vern, K6VXY. Better late than never. Is Vern. K6VXY. Go ahead, Vern.
Okay, I'm here. It's K6VXY. Yeah, it looks like I've got power. Yeah, you got, I woke up early and then fell asleep. I'm sorry. This K6VXY, I'll make it quick. Vern, K6VXY, running the Marauder today. About, how much? Well, 80 or 90 watts. It'll warm up to 100 watts here in a minute or two. But I won't be talking that long. K6VXY running a HX10 again, finally, and running a AL811 as the linear. I'm running about, 10 watts out of the Marauder into the linear. Antenna up about 40 feet. It's a full half-wave 40-meter antenna pointed pretty much in the direction of Nevada, northern, like, boy. All right, I better make this quick. Let's see, this is still working, nothing's blown up, good. And the receiver's IC7200, so running some of my stuff from the 60s now. Next week I'll have the SB200 in addition to, instead of the other one. So, let's see, handles Vern, Groveland, California. Thank you, Henry, for letting me in. And I'll go back to, I guess to you. I'm at the tail end of 9, I think. I'm sorry, I'm at the tail end of the first round. Wow, I got to get up even earlier. Well, I did. I just fell asleep. Back to you, Henry. Thanks for letting me in. K6VXY.
Okay, Vern. K6VXY WA7YBS. Checking the meters. Everything is okay. Well, this signal's all the way around. Everybody is doing quite well now. And so, with that, I've described the transmitter here before, the Homebrew that John, W6MIT, built in 1997. The 1625 rig, which is 1625s, a pair of them in parallel for the PA, and a pair of 1625s in push-pull for the modulator. And a few years later, thanks to Mike, W7MS, I got the linear amplifier that John built, the W6MIT 95 linear amplifier, which uses a weird tube. It's a Y826. It looks like a 3-500Z, but it says it's a Y826, which might be either an experimental or some sort of industrial version or something. But at any rate, that's the deal. That's the transmitter. And the receivers, a military connection, the R501, which was the designation that the Army used and for the RACAL RA-1712C and it's just like a regular old RA-17 L receiver from Raycal, except that it's got pretty much all USA tubes in it and USA standard fine hardware, the screws and stuff like that. So it's a North Americanized version of the Raycal RA-17, and of course made in England, but specifically for NATO and North America. So that's a rundown of the equipment. Let's see if there's anybody else out there that wants to check in and get in here at the very, very, very end of round one. Number 10 is open if you want to get in and check in right now. Do it.
W7MKA.
Wow, Robert's got one heck of a signal. W7MKA. Go ahead and make a transmission there, Robert. You're doing really well here in Dayton. Go ahead.
Yeah, Henry, we're kind of late getting out here this morning, as usual, but we're running on the GRC-19 this morning, T195 and R392, but I think I've copied 100% on every station I've heard, so pretty good condition. So back up to you, WA7YBS and the group W7MKA.
Yeah, okay, Robert, W7MKA, great signal there coming from there in southern Oregon. And so let's see if there's anybody else. Just checking. Number 11 is open if you want to check in here. And the last part of round one. Number 11 is open. Check in now. Okay, let's start round two then. And we'll go on up to Bill. But Vern, K6VXY, remember to turn it to W7MKA. And that'll be Robert. And so with that, and then Robert will turn it back to me. Over to Bill in round two, N6BCT, WA7YBS. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, W7YBS, N6BCT. W7MKA. Comment if you're hearing me. I'm on the SDR number one. So if it turns off SDR, you'll be able to hear me better. Anyway, so that's the story it is. So otherwise, everything is pretty good. I'm running mostly a 100 G with 25 watts of carrier, and I was just doing in the memory of W6NRT, which was a great friend of me. We worked at the same company anyway, so that's the story is. And 6 Rollins and W6MQI, go ahead and 6 BCT.
All right, Bill, W6MQI. All right, well, good morning to the new additions, Vern and Robert. Sounding good on the GRC-19. Well, I made a trip a couple of weeks ago up to radio W1NZR out there east of Dixon in the middle of nowhere. I've never really spent much time in that area before, and when I looked up Brown's address, it's like, holy crap, he's miles from anything. So anyway, I went over there and picked up his beautiful specimen of a GRC-19 setup, and showed me around some of the other stuff he has. And he's actually not too far from the Dixon Naval Transmitter facility. I don't know if any of you guys have ever been by. That's an amazing place. Acres and acres and acres of antennas of all sorts of different types. interesting place. I don't think you can get in. It's all. I believe it's all closed, but everything's still there. I don't know if any transmitters and stuff are there, but what a crazy place that is. Well, I wasn't able to talk Brown out of his prized Motorola mic, so I got to come up with a microphone. I don't think I'm going to do the D104 routine. He did give me a HS33 handset, but it was inside one of his radio shelters that he got from Dave Green. And we opened the door and it was full of water, so it was quite the tepid environment. In the microphone, I don't know what the condition of it is. I'm actually going to probably hook it up, put some power to it today and put it on a scope and see if anything's coming out of it. It's an Audio Sears Corporation HS33, not HS, H33 handset. So I have that option. I have my old helicopter headset, H1040 Dave Clark headset. I could possibly hook up to it. And I got some other stuff here, so I still got to figure out what I'm going to do for a mic. The radio is still in the garage. I haven't even turned it on. It's sitting on top of the table saw. Transmitter itself weighs 122 pounds. I can't even lift. I had to have my neighbor come over and give me a hand lifting the thing. So I've got to, when I was at Sandia, we had some nice little roll-around crane type things. Of course, I can't afford to buy one of those, so I'm going to build one out of Unistrut, and has a little hand winch. Cable goes up, and I'm going to use that to kind of lift my radios around off the benches, and this little crane will be on wheels too, so I can move things around. Because the old back, boy, I can't lift 122 pounds anymore. It's too much. But that's all that's going on here. So let's see. I think that's all I had. And 630 meters, Ron. Yeah, I never did get going on my amplifier. Too many other things going on. I have all the parts there in a big old plastic bag. I haven't done anything with them, so that's where I'm at with the 630 meters. So over to you, Ron, NU6F, W6MQI.
Okay, a little pregnant pause in case somebody else was there. And okay, still good copy. And gosh, I forgot what it's like to look at the S meter and see it sitting down there below the halfway point instead of 3/4 of the way up like usual here. And yeah, when I heard Robert come in there, boom, boy, yeah, great conditions up to Grants Pass too. Vern, we're all waiting for a squirrel report. Come on, snow's coming pretty soon. The squirrels got to be getting hungry for some of that Dacron rope on your antennas. And yeah, let's see what else going on. And okay, Dave, on your trip over to Dixon, yeah, I think that whole facility was the Navy Radio Transmit Facility, easy to say, NRTF. Yeah, I think that's been out of commission since the late 70s. But yeah, now it's part of their, I don't know, it's under control of the Navy's environmental restoration, whatever that is. I'm glad the antennas are still there, though. Yeah, we don't want to restore it too far. Keep the antennas there. May need them someday. I didn't realize that Brown was out in the boonies like that. So, adding more to the mystery man that Brown is. Okay, on the microphone, well, yeah, and the weight, gosh, yeah, it's getting to where you look at it and you say, okay, what am I going to hurt in the process of moving this radio from the garage to the house or from one bench to another? But there you go, not getting any younger. Yeah, not much. I finally got back to where I could do a little bit of construction projects after my ill-fated attempt and my battle with the table saw last week. I checked with the doc, and they still want to leave the stitches bandaged up there on the both the index finger on the left and the right for another week and a half. So I'm learning how to use the other fingers to do things, which I guess sooner or later you have to. Up to now, that left index finger wasn't good for anything except for picking my nose, but I've overcome that. I'm now able to do that with either finger. And okay, Dave, on no more 630 meters projects going on. Well, gosh, for a guy that's taking off to head back east, all you do is you just keep making it more difficult. My gosh. Either you're going to have a hell of a garage sale when you leave Livermore, or you plan on having a semi just to take the radios. And yeah, project-wise, I'm doing the back to putting the 500 watt 630 meter amp into a chassis, into a cabinet. And since trying to go ahead and make that one out of sheet metal and modifying my fingers in the process, I did look, and I got a Hammond, one of the extruded aluminum cases that's pretty close. I just had to solder on an extension board to the side of the amplifier so it would slide into the PC board guides, and so yeah, now I just got some window dressing on that, and that'll be finished. And that's been pretty much all my work, 630 meters. And Henry, the Litz wire soldering project, I think I've accomplished it. I'm going to go ahead and put some more power to it later this week and see if there's any unexpected heating of any of the windings. But yeah, I ended up just, like I say, I had 12 taps to make on a big ferrite winding for the match transformer to the base of the 630 meter antenna. And yeah, I made the loop stick out far enough so that I could go ahead and dip them into the solder pot, and it seemed like the magic temperature was around 700 degrees. Colder than that, didn't really burn off all the enamel. Hotter than that, I started burning small strands. So I think I have the technique. Probably a technique that any radio experimenter worth his salt back in 1920 would have known offhand. All right, none of those guys here right now. So with that, take it away, Chuck. K0DWC and U6F.
Okay, Ron, NU6F in the group K0DWC. Well, you sound like a busy man, Ron. I want to say good morning to Vern and good morning to Robert. The GRC-19 Robert sounds really, really good. And Vern, you're doing really well here with the Marauder as well. So congratulations for getting that back up and running. And I hope Mike found his difficulties. Sometimes we all have a rough morning like that, so I know better than anybody. But so far I've been able to hear everybody. It's been no problem. The bill's coming in good. Dave, Ron, you are. Mike when he's on. Heard Richard down at Paso Robles. Good morning to you, Richard. You're sounding good. Mike, THW Mike, you're ground pounding as well. Fort Henry is just sort of breaking the windows in my house. So Anyway, it's all good, and I'll keep it going. I will send it over to Mike W7MS. Mike, if you're there, it's all yours. This is K0DWC. Well, I'm here to one degree or another, but doing much better than my first round. K0DWC, W7MS, Mike in Reno. And transmuting, or what should we say, transmitting and receiving on a wireless set number 19, board 2. And that's coupled to the Canadian amplifier, Canadian number 19. So about 100 watts of linear RF spitting out via grid modulation and the somewhat interesting audio from the wireless set 19. So that's the setup today. Good morning to, Mike. Nice that Mike has discovered 3974. I was listening earlier as he was creating havoc on 3970. Congratulations, Mike. If I could write a pink slip, I would, but that's okay. I'm glad you're on frequency. And good morning to Robert on the GRC 19. And speaking of GRC 19s, congratulations, Dave, on the new acquisition. Had gotten a heads up from Brown that you had stopped by, but I'm glad you could give us the full Monty and details on that. And hopefully the flooded shelter wasn't the one that was containing the GRC 106 project. I think he's got more than one. And the other interesting facet is, did you get a tour of the storage facilities? But I don't think so. But he's got quite a pile of stuff there to dispose of before he calls it quits here on the West Coast in the next year or so. But glad that you picked it up. And it was the one that was obtained from Stitzinger down in Southern California. I know that set to some degree, and it's a beautiful example of the GRC 19. And what else to say? Henry sounded great. Good job. I'm glad you're running the MIT station, sounding excellent as always. And of course, I'm proud here with the wireless set 19 and that excellent grid modulated audio. That couple of watts feeding the 813 and the Canadian amplifier number 19. So that's the setup here. And over to Steve. Let's see if we can continue with all this great propagation conditions. W6SSP, W7MS.
Okay, thank you, Mike. W7MS, W6SSP, and the wireless set 19 sounds great. Conditions are still holding up, a little bit of QSP creeping in, but that's what we normally expect this time of day. And a shout out to Mike, W6THW. The homebrew rig sounds fantastic, Mike. Nice, clean carrier, excellent full audio. As good as Henry's, which is really saying something. So, congratulations on putting that on the air. Good to hear you. Good to hear everybody this morning. I missed last weekend, but been working on a number of projects. Continue to work on the components for the Spark Era transmitter. Completed the helix coil. After I did that, I found a picture of what it was supposed to look like. So I need to rework it. I need to find a different end plate for it, but that will be in the future. I'm not going to worry about that quite yet. The big story is I was able to complete the rotary spark assembly. I started out with just the wheel. It's an odd manufacturer made by Benwood, and it's quite large. It's 9 inches in diameter with large sawtooth type teeth on it that are about 1 inch wide. It's hot metal with Bakelite center for insulation. And I ended up using an Edison motor, a general purpose Edison motor mounted on a pedestal. I mounted everything on a piece of stone, and that was interesting. The first piece of stone I tried to drill holes in cracked. There was a defect in it, so I had to find another piece, which I did, and that's completed. So on to other things. Also completed the QRP Labs QCX little CW QRP transceiver. Built this one up for 30 meters. And it works fine. I haven't made any contacts with it yet, but kind of a kick to have that thing. I really like these little not homebrew, but these little kits. And I decided this week on the next project will be teletype. And I've decided to go ahead and find another, or the components I need to complete another Model 15 page printer. But this one's going to be different. I've got 3 others here that are restored and working. But for this one, I'm planning to build a either glass or acrylic case for it, so you can see the internals while it's working. These things put on quite a show. I've always gotten a big kick out of that. So I'm looking for the base, motor, and keyboard for one. I already have the typing unit, so who knows how long that'll take. These are going to be hard to find anymore. All the ones that sat around in garages for years and years, most of them probably got thrown away. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, guys, I'm heading out in a few minutes, so I'll say 73. I'll listen for a little while and see you all next weekend. So we'll send it over to Richard, WR6J, W6SSD. 73, guys.
W6SSP in the group, WR6J. Thanks for the turnover, Mike. Sounds like you've got some interesting projects going. I'm just going to start with one of your comments. You said you built a QCX transceiver kit. I was looking at their various solutions, and actually that might be their 630-meter transceiver, single-band transceiver, would be a pretty cheap kit, and I could build that, and that might be the basis for my 630-meter station. So I did build their Whisper kit from about 10-15 years ago. So, Les, what else is going on? So, Ron, new success at 630 meters. I've been receiving your signals. I built a loop on the ground yesterday to try and listen, and I'm getting you at about signal to noise ratio of about like -9, -10. So, at some point when I get a station set up, we'd love to schedule some kind of QSO, because I think probably the reception is good enough to do JT9 or something. So that'll be an interesting project, trying to get that going. You said you've got a fairly good work. I had a Part 5 experimental license back in 2015 and played around with it a bit, and I built, at that point, built a 100-watt tube amp, and I got some spots on Whisper back then, but then I moved on to my boat, and I lived there for 10 years, so I really haven't been able to do much on 630 meters since then. I'm hoping to get back to that at some point in the future. And Dave and others were talking about trying to lift heavy objects. I remember Johnson Invader 2000 chassis and stuff here. I've got 2 transmitters and 3 power supplies. Power supplies are over 100 pounds each. And it's a restoration project for me. I'm hoping to build 1 or maybe 2 working transmitters out of all of that. And moving them around is definitely a challenge. And a couple of things I've looked at. One is you can get these scissor lift carts that take up to 300 to 500 pounds. And maybe up a cheap engine hoist from Harbour Freight to get the unit onto there, and then scissor lift it up to bench height, and I should just be able to slide it over. So that's one of the solutions I'm thinking about, because I certainly can't be picking up things that heavy either. I'm still working, hoping to get retired and live down here in Paso Robles, maybe starting in the summer or the fall. And in theory, that'll give me a chance to do more projects, but with all the weed whacking I've been doing this past weekend, I'm not sure I'll have time when I'm trying to maintain a house. Anyway, lots of fun. That's probably about it. Chuck, thank you for the nice signal report. And I'm hearing everybody pretty well. I've been listening all the way up on the ground, but it really isn't good as my transmit antenna, so I'll have to figure out something with that. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble, so I'm going to keep things moving here. And I'm going to pass it over to, I think it's WA6PHW, Mike, WR6J.
Okay, WR6J. And the group, W6PHW. Very nice. Q5 copy on everybody. Everybody has a good signal this morning. I don't know if it's always that way, due to the fact I haven't been on this frequency since, who knows. years ago, many years ago. And I'm okay on the signal. It seems everything's working here. And we're going to make this our final, and give it over to KK2SY. Hopefully I got that right. If not, I'm sure Henry will straighten me out. Here is Rockland W6THW.
W6 K6VXY. They're Vern. K6VXY. Go ahead and make a transmission, Vern.
Thank you, Mike from Rockland, for the passing it over. What is my power output now that this stuff is warmed up? Well, it's nice to have a regular modulation. This is the old, what do they call it? It's not an old. Maybe it is old. I don't know. Let's see, I'm running 80, 90 watts, somewhere around there. And upward modulation, which is nice. And running the D104 microphone at Dennis Vern, K6VXY in Groveland or Pine Mountain Lake, California. And picked up a new speaker. That was maybe a week ago. Maybe I had it on. I'm still bouncing around with speakers on receive for the receive signal. And how much power is the Marauder running now? Well, it's up to 80 mils. I'm keeping it up to 80 mils. Yeah, 80 mils. They say not to run the Marauder over 100 mils on AM, so I keep it at 80 just to be safe. I have to take a picture of this whole setup here because it's first the Marauder, then the world famous Variac with a meter on it, then the TR switch, then a power supply, then the IC 7200 on top of the tuner, which is a MFJ 989. Before that's the antenna switch, and then after that is the speaker, and then the AL 811. And I believe next week, or even sooner possibly, I'll have the SB 200 back over there in the end spot. So this covers 6 feet of space, left to right. So I have to back off to get the picture. I am very, very happy with the case for the Marauder HX10 heat kit. 1962 is the date they got on from the original owner to build it. But it's a green case that I made out of 3/8 inch. Is that right? 3/8 is not half. 3/8 inch plywood. And some of you've seen the picture, but it's been painted heat kit green. I found a green color at Lowe's that matches real close. And then there's a little cover above it in the back where the fan exhausts, the muffin fan that Henry recommended, cools off the 6146s coming out of that. So anyhow, and the squirrel reports, Ron, there ain't any. Well, there are here. There's squirrels here. But they haven't gotten to the antenna. A couple of the ones they used to have been protected now with that, I guess it's steel cable covered with neoprene or some sort of rubber, clear rubber you can get at a lot of places. I don't know if they use that on fences or what. But it works really well. I got that holding up. I got it held up at 5 different spots. 5 different spots. The 2 ends, the 2 middles, and then the apex itself. All different ropes of neoprene, I think is what I called it. And the new speaker here is quite nice. I'm not sure if I'm going to stay with it or not, but it works pretty well. It's off-brand of some sort. It's not a Polk, it's not a Heil speaker, but boy, is it heavy. It's a speaker that's meant for stereo. I'm thinking it might go into the living room eventually
is part of my sound system for the TV set. Which reminds me, I've been enjoying some of the Olympics. And I was, before I dozed off and got to the net late. Well, that's my fault. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Robert. W7MKA. And W7, and I'm not sure where you're located, but I think you're somewhere over there in the Sierras. This is K6VXY. Good morning to everybody.
Yeah, K6VXY and the group W7MKA. This is Robert in Grants Pass, Oregon. We're about 50 miles north of the border on R5, and pretty decent copy on. Bill and Richard were a little tough, but I think I got most everything. And so yeah, good conditions this morning. Enjoyed hearing the wireless set 19. I've actually, somebody gave me one of those. It was even a Mark II, just like yours, Mike. That in its original price and everything, but unfortunately, it wasn't stored very well over the years, so it got pretty damp. So have not yet got that going. But and then after seeing, I think it's a bridge too far. You know, it's I think it's the 19 set that gets the group of the trouble, because their regions just aren't getting out. But maybe this will motivate me to work on mine a little bit. You know, we've been. I want to comment on Dave's P195. Yeah, I don't have any tricks with the weight issue. I managed to. I definitely couldn't get it over my head, but I can at least get it up to waist height. I guess you can throw it out of the cabinet. That shaves a few pounds off, but yeah, you don't get any lighter. I have kind of one of those crank-up genie lifts at work that I could borrow if worse comes to worse. We ended up using it on a WRT2 that we got here. The top drawer, because they had to make the top drawer like the heaviest of all of them, and so I ended up cranking it up with this genie lift. But still, even despite that, I had to get my oldest son, and he helped me finally get the thing manhandled into place. So, but the genie lift was a huge help. And we're using a Shure 102C carbon microphone. I kind of built a breakout box going to the U77. Plug in the PL55 and the PL68 normal stuff. Try different microphones and headsets. So I think I've tried it with the T32 and the Chicom, Henry's Chicom mic. Got a couple of those kicking around here. But I don't know. This ended up being the permanent this particular position here. But whatever you do, anything's better than an M29. Can't remember what element they use on that H33 handset, but hopefully it's not the same as the M29. We've been thoroughly engrossed in a project trying to get the 800 cycle equipment going. I've had a TBW for 20 years now. I got it from a member of our local club, and every once in a while he'll still ask me about it. Hey, you got that transmitter on the air? And he was just telling me he's 95. Let me know when you get it going. I want to hear it. And so I'm kind of realizing that I'm running out of time. But yeah, I'm thankful to Tom. OPE gave me a motor generator set, so we've been going through that. And I think my first, I had some trouble, but I think it was operator error. But did give me an excuse to pull the generator all apart, and we've repacking the bushings and checking everything out with the megger, and so that'll be good. And then we get it all back together again. I think I'm going to repaint the whole thing, since I might as well. So all in pieces. So it should be pretty nice to get it done. And I'm hoping that that's going to be the biggest hurdle, get the 800 cycle 120 volt power. As we've got both the TBW and GP7 that we're hoping to get on the air here. So yeah, it's been keeping me busy. back up to the top of WA7YBS to take it, W7MKA.
Okay, Robert. W7MKA, WA7YBS. Well, all right, 73 to Steve, W6SSP, and 73 to Mike, W6THW. And everybody's holding up. Robert, that was 100% on the transmission there from Grass Pass, so conditions are still pretty good. And, yeah, Dave, those handsets, the Auto Sears is actually the best one of the batch. I have one that was made in, I don't know, it was made somewhere in Europe anyway, Belgium, I think, or some. Anyway, that one was crummy. Oh, it was awful sounding as far as the microphone and transmitting on it. But I did pick up an Audio Sears one, and that one's not bad. You know, I really, don't use them. I use it like you're going to do. I use a separate set of phones for listening, and then I use the Chicom carbon microphone. But I bet that EMS 94, that Electret version, I bet that would do really well on the GRC 19. But anyway, yeah, lifting, heavy lifting. I just picked up a Collins R391. That's the motor drive R390 tuning. And to get it upstairs, I had to take the power supply out and the audio amplifier out to get it to about 65 pounds or so, that I can lift it, carry it upstairs. But yeah, that's what I like to do, is disassemble them and then take them up a piece at a time. But anyway, the R391 was desynchronized. That was why it didn't work. And the crystal oscillator, inside there's a little shaft that's got worm gear on it. And it's got two E-clips, two shaft clips, that snap on. It's supposed to keep the shaft from moving. Both of those E-clips had popped off, and they were broken. And so every time you tried to, or the first time somebody tried to change bands, the megacycle, it would back the crystal oscillator out and desync the thing. And so luckily I found a National right angle drive, had the same types of clips. And so I robbed those clips out of that National right angle drive and snapped them in there, and that got the receiver working. Right now I have the panel off to work on the motor drive. All it needs is just a little bit of lubrication and attention. But anyway, that sucker's 85 pounds, and carrying it upstairs is difficult unless you take the power supply and the audio amp out. Then it's not too bad. So anyway, R391 project. So that's what's going on here. Let's go ahead and do the 73 round. And with that, remember, number 6 there, Steve, W6SSP, has said 73. And number 8, W6THW, Mike, has said 73. Everybody else is still present. So 73 round and up to Bill, or down to Bill, N6BCT, WA7YBS.
And then we took YBS and took Bravo trying to good morning and all. W614 with the that's down in Hartford Road on the top.
All right, N6BCT W6MQI. Alrighty, Bill. And, yeah, fine business in everybody's projects and such. Steve with his spark gap. Man, that's crazy. Crazy stuff. And, what was I going to say? Need more coffee. Yeah, with reference to Brown and the GRC 106 is, I think he was trying to sell me one of those radio shelters, but I wasn't having no part of it. But we opened up a couple of them, and one of them had quite a bit of stuff in it, GRC 106 setup. And I asked him if the 106 worked, and he says he powered it up, and I guess the high voltage didn't come up. Imagine that. And then that one was pretty dry. I didn't see any water or anything in that one, and we opened up another one, and it wasn't good. That's where I got the H33 microphone handset from, and there was a GRC 106 in there, and I kind of stepped in the puddle of water, and the 106 looked like it was probably okay, Mike. I don't know if it works. I didn't really. It actually kind of the back of my mind, maybe I should offer, and then I said no. Then I slapped myself and said, no, I don't need any more stuff. But it didn't look like it was in too bad a shape. There wasn't a whole lot in that shelter, but the other one he had quite a bit of stuff. And but he showed. I did not go to his storage facility. I guess in Dixon there. I guess he could tell I was a bit of a deer in the headlights, looking at everything he had, and I wasn't in the buying mood. Yeah, like Ron says, I don't need any more stuff to have to palletize and have shipped. In fact, this Monday, Beacons is coming over to kind of give me a look at the house and give me a price, but it's going to be pricey. I know it. It is what it is. It is what it is. And but I have for all my radio equipment, I'm going to build shipping boxes out of wood and plywood and such, and then I'll pad everything. And I'm thinking about buying, I don't know how many air tags you can get, but put air tags and things, so if something gets lost, when I'm in North Carolina, I can find my ART-13 that's parked in Wisconsin somewhere. So, yeah, it's going to get ugly probably before it gets better. You hear all the horror stories, but we'll get insurance and all that, but that's the rundown here, and I guess we'll send it up to Ron. NU6F, W6MQI, and 73 to everybody.
Okay, Dave. Yep, still good copy, a little bit of QFB, but still, knock on wood, it's so much more pleasant to just turn the RF gain and the audio up and listen. All right, guys. Henry, okay, on the R391 motor driven, and your good find on finding those clips on that right angle drive. So, yeah, to have 85 pounds of radio that doesn't work because of two tiny little clips, why, yeah, that's a bad deal. All right, not sure if you've worked on that for any time before, or if it's just a project that you return to, or if it's a recent acquisition. Well, one or the other. And, yeah, Dave, okay, and congratulations on your resistance from buying another GRC 106 or whatever that Brown had. And, yeah, you know, let me know, and if you get that quote from Beacons, why, I'll see if I can put up a GoFundMe page. Help Dave move. All right, well, hopefully that'll turn out good. Mike, okay, on the wireless at 19, grid modulated, And you really can't tell the difference too much one way or the other if you have the right mic in there and the right mic behind the mic. There you go, a lot of mics. And I assume THW Mike is no longer listening, but he's got a cool picture on his QRZ page. So maybe next time he comes in, he can explain where that picture was taken. And Richard, okay, on Paso Robles and getting closer to retirement. And nothing wrong about that retirement thing. The pay isn't as good, but the supervision is much better than any other supervision. And you can get out of control radio-wise. Okay, on copy and the whisper signal, yeah, I've been normally I'm on every night transmitting, but because I had the accident here with the finger, I've only been on a couple of nights. Been listening. But, and I guess what you heard was probably the old amp, the 150-watt amp, since the other one's 500-watt one is getting packaged up and looking a little more professional. And let's see, what else I was going to say. Oh, yeah, that's too bad. Steve's not listening. I'd like to see what that spark gap rotary spark gap looks like. Sounds like it's going to be pretty authentic looking. Robert, okay, on the WRT2, yeah, that you had. Gosh, you're going to have to. I don't know if I've looked on your QRZ page, but yeah, you have to have a pretty good sized collection there. And on the 800 hertz supply for the TBW, yeah, I think no 800 hertz, but I do have the 400 hertz supply, which Mike remembers found at Hammond Hi-Fi. Cute little MG set, three-phase. It was a three-phase 220. And 420 hertz out. Pristine, excellent shape. So that's hooked up out in the garage. All right, guys. Thanks a bunch for handling the net, Henry. And I'll say my 73s, and I'll pass it back down to Dayton. K0DWC and U6F.
Okay, Ron. NU6F K0DWC. Well, that T3 sounds really, really great. Good to hear one of them back on. Oh, man. I never missed a beat with anybody this morning. I heard everybody through every round. And Dave, you had a big signal in here, too. And, I was surprised. Robert's signal, actually here anyway, Robert was stronger this last time than he was the first time. So it's definitely a good path between here and Grants Pass, and that's been happening a lot lately, which is a good thing. So anyway, and Vern was good as well. And Mike, W7MS, the wireless set sounds fantastic. It is different audio, but it's authentic and great set to go to when you were having trouble with the other ones. So, great job there. And everybody did a great job today. And I'll be net control next Sunday. And I hope all you guys come back to check in with us again next week. So I'll say my 7.3s. Henry, I'll give you a buzz later this afternoon. And we'll go on the phone for a little bit. And I'll talk to you there. I'll talk to you again there. So I will hand it over to Mike over in Reno. W7MS with that neat wireless set 19. This is K0DWC, Dayton Valley, saying 7.3.
Okay, well, thanks, Chuck. Thanks for the kind words. That's all I can say. K0DWCW7MS, again, Mike in Reno. And we'll start out by saying congratulations to Henry on the R391, and can't wait for maybe an eyeball conversation on the R391 story, but nice to know I now have competition in northern Nevada. There are now at least two R391s, and they'll both function. There may be a few out in the back shed or in somebody's garage, but none that I know of. But congratulations on that. And the story on upper body strength utilization, let's say, moving that puppy around. Certainly safety first, I think, would be the word on that one. And final out on all the projects and the interesting looking index finger there, absolutely unique. And Chuck, again, thank you. And Steve is signed, so we'll save comments for maybe another Sunday morning. And congratulations, Richard, on approaching retirement. We did a countdown with Dave MQI, so now we can do one with WR6J. That's always good. And Robert, great on the TBW story, and you're on a time squeeze here. Every day that goes into the future means less opportunities to meet the requirements on the on the individual that donated the TBW. But good luck on that project. And your story on the wireless set 19 is certainly not unique. It's amazing with time that something can still be essentially in the crate, but if it's not stored properly. So maybe sometime in the future we'll welcome another Mark II on the air here on 3974. And boy, I'm amazed that Dave is getting an estimate. I guess you want to have time to digest the estimate from the moving company, but that's going to be interesting, as Ron had mentioned. And I think, being a little braggadocious, I think the only moving company move I had was years ago when I moved back to Reno, but that was paid for by my employer, which was, that was a good deal. The only downside was seeing the driver of the truck at 7 a.m., he was already drinking on the Reno side of the delivery, but they did okay. And all I could see was being a moving van driver / unloader and setter-upper was one of the worst jobs I could ever think of on the planet. I couldn't imagine driving a truck trailer rig and then having to unload it or load it, depending on what end you were operating from. But with that 7-3s from Reno, we'll see how we're still doing down south at Richard's location, WR6J, W7MS.
W7MS and the Vintage Volkswagen. This is WR6J. Thank you very much, Mike. Good to hear you, and thank you for the advanced impending congratulations on the retirement. It's hopefully happening as early as June, maybe as late as September. Got a little bit of planning to do. I should know in the next month or two, and we'll see how that goes. And I've been living on my boat for just over 10 years up in Redwood City, and I had to move my stuff down, but having a boat and a storage unit did limit my ability to collect too much stuff, and I was able to bring it down. A lot of stuff came down in my car, and then I rented a U-Haul truck, one-way rental, and brought other stuff down back here then a couple of months ago. And I had some welfare, but not a huge amount. So, Dave, I just have to say good luck with the move. My plan is just to throw a car out, wet my stuff, and then let my kids take care of it some number of decades from now. Hi. And Ron, sorry to hear about your finger and getting in the way of a radio project. Hopefully it's recovering okay. And would like to talk more about 630-meter stuff. Not sure if this net is exactly the right place to do it, but hopefully we can get to that at some point. And yeah, that's about it actually. I'm going to sign off and say something to the group, and I'll listen through the end. I think since Mike is gone, it's my turn to pass it over to the Marauder, Vern. K6VXY in the group, WR6J, 73.
Okay, through all the switches, turn the volume down anyhow on the receiver is K6VXY. And running now on power, a little more again. Warms up 100 watts, wow. 100 watts out. And look at the Marauder here. Oh, that's up a little above 80 mils. But I have a few tubes to replace in there, but it's been working okay, so I'm just going to leave well enough alone. I got some spares. And I forgot to mention I have a D104 microphone, which keys the transmitter nicely. I was reading the bottom of the mic here. It's a chrome microphone with a, I would call it kind of a grayish stand. Black base on it, a black belt pad on the bottom. Says something weird here. It says GDES Manic or GDES. It's hard to read these letters. They're so small. GDES, SDA, something. G-stand or G-static? I can't be sure. I'll have to get a magnifying glass out to read that part of it. But that's on the gray base. And it's got a nice cord, and I think it's got, as far as I know, got the microphone connector I got from Dave, W6MQI. Now I was thinking about my retirement. Gee, I've been retired over 10 years. Officially retired, I think. And I'm going back doing the math. Was it 71 or 73? Not the year, I'm talking about the year 2010 versus 2012. I can't be sure anymore. I guess that's what happens when you get older. What was my last year at HRO? Anyhow, I used their stuff there. I had a bunch of coax connectors. I knew they were around somewhere. They were in another one of these boxes floating around the house here. It's in the closet. And I bought a couple 1.5 foot, 3 foot, and 6 foot RGX cables for interconnecting this stuff. And Mike, for your information, I made a drawing yesterday and then one earlier in the week, and I'm going to make it even nicer. It tells me how to hook the wires up on all this stuff. You got a TR switch hooked into, I've got an antenna tuner, I got the receiver, the transmitter, and then I got the power for the Dow key relay. And now it's hooked up nice, but I'm using the new 6-foot cable that goes from the output of the transmitter here, which is the linear, into the TR switch, the T input for transmitter. And that gets switched, and then its output goes into the antenna tuner, which then goes to the antenna switch, and then goes to the antenna. Or does it go from the switch to the tuner? No, it goes, the output there goes from the TR switch, it goes to the, it goes to the switch, and then from the switch, let me look at that to make sure. Yeah, goes to the switch, and then to the output of it, from the output of the switch, it goes to the antenna tuner by MFT. I hope next week they have the SB200 going here. I might have to drive it a little harder because I think the 808-11H or the 4.2 version has a gain of 10, whereas I think the gain on the SB200 is between 6 and 8, so I may have to push it a little harder. But maybe not, because I like to keep the power down so I don't blow anything up. Okay. So with that, I will turn it over, I believe, to W7MKA Robert Grants Bass. My folks retired in Rogue River. They were there for a long time, so I know your area well. And I'm sorry, Henry, if I've got it wrong, if he is tuned out or said 73s. But this is K6VXY 73s, and hello to everyone, and it's nice using the good old Marauder again. K6VXY 73s.
All right, K6VXY in the group, W7MKA. That's a nice thing about being from, living in a town with a funny name, as everybody remembers. If they've been through or have some connection. It's amazing the number of people I run into that have some connection to Grand Farm. But thanks for the signal report. It seems like propagation's really smiling on me this morning. And and all the comments about moving. I've only moved a couple of times. This is the third house in town that we've lived in, but all three were within maybe a half-mile circle. And so the last time it was pretty much moved everything myself, and I can't even imagine. It's at this point moving across the country, even getting all the stuff out of the basement. So hats off to you, Dave, and good luck with all that. And hopefully doesn't end up being too much. I've run into a lot of people that, and I guess it's political migration headed for the Carolinas or Idaho and Nevada too. But I think we're going to stick it out here for at least for now. 7-3 back up to Henry. WA7YBS to take it. W7MKA.
Okay, Robert, W7MKA, WA7YBS, and would help if I actually turned the linear on, at least a high voltage to the linear. So anyway, thanks a lot there, Robert, W7MKA, WA7YBS. Okay, well, 73 to everybody. Good net. Signals held up amazingly well. It was Q5 throughout, so very good. And remember, 3 weeks from now, I'll be net control again, and that coincides with the first day of daylight savings time. So we will be an hour later. Although the time won't be, but I mean the sun will be, it'll be a little bit lighter. So anyway, with that, Chuck will be net control next week. So with that, I'm going to say 73. Everybody have a good week coming up. Hope to hear everybody back next week. And with that, 73 all around. WA7YBS closing the Vintage Military Radio Net and signing off.